I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? Yes. All right. So listen. Okay. So we have authors on the show, but there is nothing like children's authors because the imagination that goes with it. And plus, she has a Cinderella pen. She got me. She's got a Cinderella pen. I am like Cinderella all the way. It's like I watched all kinds of Cinderella movies. The one with Whitney Houston, the one with Drew Barrymore, look, okay.
What about the old one? What about the old one from the 60s with Prince Charming?
That started it all, okay? That started it all. That was like when I was little. I'm talking about we graduated. We going all the way through, baby.
That was good stuff.
Oh man, that's such good stuff. I have Tori on the show today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to be here today. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you. So, okay. So let's go back a little bit because I do this with everybody. Tell us about yourself and then tell us how you kind of became that author that you are today.
No, that's a loaded question. A lot of life. It is. I've lived a lot of life. Yeah, I'm a military brat. I was born at Homestead. Of course, we know Hurricane Andrew took out my place of birth. God bless that place. We lived in Maine during the Cold War in the 60s. I could tell you some scary stories about that one. Then we lived in New Mexico during the Vietnam conflict while my dad was gone. Moved to North Carolina, lived there for a while in the 60s during segregation. I have stories about that. Yeah. And then we lived in Spain. I lived under Ferdinand Franco for a couple of years under dictator as the country changed into Juan Carlos and the democracy monarchy that we see today. We were there from 72 to 77, and I watched an entire world change. And I remember reading the peak sections, and the radio was very important to me, and being busy and active because of being detached from the United States. So Armed Forces Radio really was my only link, and talk shows and baseball and Casey Kasem and Wolfman Jack were my only, I didn't know what teenage life was like in the States. Then we moved to California, to the Bay Area. And I finished my senior year of high school here at Vanden High School up the street. I live in between San Francisco and Sacramento. And the uniqueness about the Bay Area is I'm an hour and a half from the coast. I'm 2 hours from Tahoe, 3 hours from Yosemite, an hour in between Sacramento and San Francisco, 3 hours to Monterey. Diablo Mountain's just down the road an hour if I want to ride my bicycle up it. What's not to inspire us around here and eat it up? Napa's over the hill. There's something to do. There's always something to do around here and explore and find out what's going on. There's just so much opportunity here. And we have the Giants, and we have the 49ers, and we have the Warriors, and we have, and they have charities, and they have things, and they give back in the Bay. They have the Benioff Children's Hospital. I have dreams about my book being at that hospital this winter and somebody reading it. There's the giveaway the Warriors do for readers at Christmas, and I'm praying that my book ends up with the Curry's charities and gets out there and gets to be read that way as well. I didn't write it just to sell a book. I wanted to bring joy and happiness to people.
Wow. That is just, yeah, definitely. I want to say, and I have to say this, if you want your book in the hospital, take a copy.
Yeah.
Give it to them and say, I would love to have my book here.
Okay.
Just do it.
I have no problem.
No. Yeah, just go down to the hospital. Hey, okay. I'm an author. I would love to have my book here. What do I do to do that?
Okay.
You never know. I mean, you just never know. But on the side of the interview, let's just go ahead and do with the interview, because I mean, I get all creative when I think of things like that.
You do your thing.
Yeah, right. But it's like, okay, so the book itself, tell me about the book.
tell you about the book. Okay, well, Ophelia is a very adventurous otter. And she's been friends with Esther and Violet for a very long time. They've been together since they were kids. And they were looking forward to having some time together. They had been in school and things had been busy. And they decided to put together a day that was something a favorite of all of theirs. So Ophelia loves the water and they went fishing. Violet loves the adventure of going to the symphony. And Esther was along for the poetry of the thing. She wanted the adventure and the sounds of being out and about. So a lot of times, I'm being 30 years a social worker, I worked with children in daycares. I worked at a nonprofit where I sat down with people and did authorizations for childcare if they were income eligible. I worked with adults with disabilities and got them employment, and would go into businesses that were accepting of people, and I would teach the person the job. I would learn the job, teach the person the job, teach the job to the other people, and how that they could all work together and work out. And I have several people in my community that have been working over 27 years from those kind of experiences. There's some of that in there too. The fact that we sitting down and just having a quiet moment in something about happiness. And I also put in this book the fact that you don't have to spend a lot of money, and time is valuable.
Yeah.
And also, when I didn't do too much explaining around San Francisco and Stern Grove specifically, or Point Arena, but I mentioned them hoping to spark further conversation between the child and the adult. Well, what's up at Point Arena, and how come it's so pretty up there? And Point Arena has its own, wildlife reserve there, and maybe they'll look it up and see what kind of wildlife reserve it is besides the lighthouse. Stern Grove. Why did I pick Stern Grove and the San Francisco Ballet and Tchaikovsky? Well, my daughter dances, and she's been dancing since she was 3. And she's down in LA still trying to dance despite what happened with COVID and the dance studios closing up, but they're still trying to hang in there. And we went to Stern Grove with the ballet here with the local girls to see the symphony and the San Francisco Ballet dance. And the sound and the acoustics that come off the eucalyptus trees at Stern Grove are amazing. It's like hearing a golf ball hit in pine trees, that crisp, lovely sound that happens when you, instead of feedback, that true tone. I wanted to share that kind of a message too.
Wow. Now I want to ask you, because you're being an Army brat and me being the daughter of an entertainer and traveling so much, we really didn't get the opportunity to grow up like the ages. You know what I mean? It was like you're this age and now you're this age. And it's you were 8, but you weren't 8.
Oh, no.
You were like 28
Yeah,
psychologically.
because in high school, when I ran track, we were told to keep up with the boys. And we were told to go keep up. Yeah. I ran a 5-minute mile in high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
It
crazy.
was.
But I mean, again, you didn't have the opportunity to go out to the mall and hang out. You didn't have that. You didn't do that.
But I have a very special relationship. In 1968, my friend and I, she played piano and I sing, and we went and entered the state fair in North Carolina. And we did Yesterday by the Beatles, and we won our age group.
Oh, wow.
And she and I, it was turbulent times. She's African American and I'm lighter colored. And they were trying to segregate us in North Carolina then in 68. They were telling kids on the Air Force Base that they were going to have to go to a different school. And I remember being surrounded by a group of children asking me why I was walking with this person. I said, that's my friend.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you can't do that. And I said, well, yes, I can. It's my choice. And I'm sorry, we're going to keep going now. We're not bothering you. And we did. And nothing ever happened. And the segregation, fortunately, did not happen. So the community, they were like, no, the kids on the Air Force Base, you can't do that to them.
Right. Because they grow up together. And it's not about color. It's about personality and forming those bonds. You know what I mean? I hate that. I hate the segregated times and
that
all
was a
that.
different time for us.
It was a different time for a lot of people, but it's under the covers now, I would say. And sometimes it likes to peek its nasty head out. And I'm letting everyone know that there is no one pure anymore. You can't do that. You know, you might go back in your history and find out you're Black. How about that?
Thank you.
I
we'll
know.
have no more of that.
I went back in my history and found out that I have Lord Robert Dundas as a slave owner in my family. Well, guess what? He's a lord. What does that make me?
A lady.
Right. Or a duchess or something to that effect, right? So you want to look at me and tell me that I'm not?
Right. No.
You can't. I mean, literally, this body harbored so many different stories. And that's why I like children's writers, because you are so inventive. Did you find yourself making up things as you were a youngster on the base?
Well, I was always a daydreamer and out the window. Always creative. I cannot add 2 + 2 is 22. I'm just sure of it. And then, but I can turn around and open up my cupboards and go and take a recipe and split it in half and fraction it and pull out of my cupboards and make a chocolate pie with orange sauce and an almond crust without measuring anything. No problem.
Coming over.
Exactly. So I don't know why I can't do math, but I can do color. And let's go back a minute here. So you touched a subject where somebody, they tell us who we are. And who we're supposed to be. And unfortunately, in artists, and maybe this has happened to you, oh, honey, that's not going to happen for you. You need to hang that up. No, that's never going to happen. I can't tell you how many years I heard that.
Oh, yeah. They try to tell you who you are. Yeah, they do. It doesn't work with me either. It doesn't work. No, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sitting in this seat today. I wouldn't be where I am today if I listened to people.
Oh, I know. They get mad at us for not listening. I do know that my intentions of writing the book also are, it's good to be active.
Yeah.
We get up, we go someplace, we do something. So if the storyline, the girls get up and they swim from Monterey to Point Arena, which is quite a distance. And people will get up from San Francisco and drive to Point Arena to kayak around here. So I wanted the otters to mimic what people do, also that it mimics migration. They fish up at Point Arena, but they only fish for what they need for their picnic. Plus they brought food with them. And then the seagulls share with them. And then it's time to go. And I don't use a clock for time. I mentioned the sky changing and the light changing during the day and how they keep track in the more natural elements. And I mean, a lot of people are not aware anymore. We're on our phones and in here like this. Nobody's opening up and looking around and they're what they're shining or what's being shown at them or awareness, right? And then definitely. And then they swim back to Monterey for the enjoyment part, the party time. That's what Esther was looking forward to. It's just like, I'll go along with you guys, but I'm really just there for the party, right? You got that one girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I got
right?
that.
So, and you notice I picked a trio and I picked 3 girls. And then of course I told you very lengthy my love for that sound in Stern Grove. And so maybe you need to come and book something there so I can hear you band. Hey, just go.
You just never know. I would love that. Happen. That would be great. So you touched on something as well. The imagination is great, but the actuality that you've put some actual places in there to actually spark that question to the kids. Do you do that Do you have other books, and have you done that in other books, or do you plan on doing it in future books?
I plan on doing it future books. This is the first book I've ever written.
Oh, that's so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you. I've been wanting to do this for years, and I've been doing what I've needed for my family for a long time. And COVID came along, and I was mostly teaching water aerobics and working with some adults with disabilities. I got to go see my old ladies today. Not happy unless I come beat them up every morning. We got to get out there, those Jack LaLanne exercises, get in the water and get moving, and then we're okay. And then they release me. They're like, you can never give this up. Anyway, yeah, it's that kind of a thing. And then COVID happened, and I didn't have track for a whole year. I didn't know what to do with myself. And I've been around track since 1990. So if anything, there was always a track meet to work, or table to work, or some numbers to peg on some kids, or some hurdles to move or something. And there was nothing. And I was like, I'm going to go crazy. And I started painting. And then I kept getting this message, write a book. Write a book. So I was like, okay, what do I want to write about? And then I started systematically writing my outline down. And then one day I said, okay, let's go for this story. And then I wanted adventure. So, because I was locked in because of COVID.
Yeah. Wow. So now that you've written this book and now you plan another one, how does that make you feel?
I'm exhilarated and excited. I've actually few months ago started writing some reader subject I want for a little bit older kids. Put some magic, maybe some time travel thing.
That's cool. I like time travel.
Maybe some wind. There might be some wind and some stars, and I don't know what kind of creatures yet. I'll tell you, I do know that I can inflect my two cats and my dog into any kind of personalities. I sat down one day and I turned them into little magical beings as I was bored, right? Because you said, what about this stuff that you do because you didn't grow up with people? So I gave each one of my cats special names that's not their real names. And I gave them all specific powers and things that they can do.
Oh my God.
So they're kind of like,
tell me you're into Marvel comics and I will love you. I love Marvel. Marvel comics, Marvel, the movies, the superhero movies, like all of them.
Oh, I don't understand why the Incredibles don't have an Incredidog.
Oh, right.
A black and white Incredidog in red.
Come on.
Let's go.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know why. And they should. As a matter of fact, if you're watching directors, authors, illustrators, put it in there. Just do it.
Please.
Do it. Please.
It'd be like Astro. Remember Astro?
I remember Astro. So cute. Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, let's go there. So since we're going right there, in the 60s, what did you get out of the cereal boxes?
Oh my gosh. Oh, the Jacks. I got Jacks. I got Jacks out of it. I got Jacks. And then I got these, those little things that you can see, like, they're like flat, but they like bend light. I got a lot of those.
They were like a mirror. They were a reflector.
Like the spinners. I got spinners.
Yes, the dreidels.
Oh gosh, I got a bunch of stuff out of there. You can't get that anymore. They don't have that
nowadays. They don't get stuff out of their cereal boxes. Think about that one. You could put that back in a story now, and it could be like, what? What is this, lady? And it's magically delicious.
Jack boxes. The brittle peanut butter boxes with the little things. And then and instead of looking at your phone, you were reading the back of the cereal box. Like, okay.
Reading the back of the cereal box. Are you kidding? I saved all the coupons up to get that Woody Woodpecker cereal bowl in the mug.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. Oh my gosh. Wow.
And I was standing there waiting at the mailbox for it, doing that kind of stuff. You touched on something else too, just a second ago. You said, reading stuff. Okay, so did you go do this? So when I first moved to the Bay, being starved of music, because Charo was the only thing that came below like Germany, and and Franco never let anybody into Spain to see. So I didn't know anything. The first concert I ever saw was Bad Company in the Cow Palace with, oh yeah, right. You were like, and then I would go to Eucalyptus Records in Fairfield.
Oh, wow.
Hours and look for the albums and the things that were slit open so you could pull it out and read everything.
Yes.
Read everything. And
You
who
can read the
produced it.
captions. You got to read like the comments.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All of it. Did you do that?
Yes.
For hours.
Yes. At Blue Note in Miami. Blue
Oh,
Note
Blue
Records.
Note?
As a matter of fact, right? So my mom's albums were there and they were in a special room at Blue Note Records and they were in the back. So they weren't in the general public area where he had everything. So I got to go in the back and I saw my mom's stuff and I'm like, oh, can I buy these? He's like, no, this is my private collection. I was like, please, no.
You gotta give me my mom's stuff.
And he's like, okay, I'll sell it to you. I was like, you got more than one. So he sold it to me.
That funkadelic stuff was that was some stuff back in the day. I love that stuff. I miss the 70s and the 60s and 70s British blues.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
Peter Green, Dave Mason.
Oh gosh, don't get into this because we're going way far out. But music was but the illustration on the actual records, like there were velvet covered records, like Chicago had a velvet record. That was so cool. And oh my gosh. Okay. So, but your book, let's go back to your book. Did you do the artwork yourself?
I did.
I
did the artwork myself.
Okay. Why did you do that?
I wanted to get that creative side out of me, and keep it friendly for the kids. There was discussion about pop art and just scenery and this and that. And I kind of was thinking that it needed to be a coloring book. And I wanted it to be friendly for kids. And I didn't want the pop-up art. So I sat down and started doing it myself. And that's just about what came out. I really had no idea. And I kind of had, and I went, well, here's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did.
And so the cover is yours.
Yes.
What other artwork do you have that you're very proud of? What's your favorite piece of artwork in the book?
The picnic blanket. The picnic blanket with the heart tree.
Oh. See, now most people would say that, okay, I would say, I'm just gonna go there. I can't draw, but that's relative, isn't it? I mean, most people aren't doing children's books because they feel like they can't draw, but does that matter?
No, it doesn't matter. Children aren't gonna critique your art. They're looking for something to stimulate them. They're looking for something to color their minds. They're looking to explore. They're at that spongy stage, and you got to keep it fun so that way they want to be there. And it doesn't stop. And even in college, they're like that. So sometimes when I go work a college meet in I'm running a shot put or a discus, which is heavy throwing, and young men and women are throwing, they're still just young adults. And they still need that opportunity to be creative and be able to get that out. And you see it in them. Sometimes they get goofy and there's stuff that comes out of them and you're just, yeah, okay.
Wow. Well, I love your cover of your book.
Thank you.
I love what you've done. I love literally your heart and what you've done, and putting actual places into the book where children's curiosity can run wild. And actually maybe even go online and see these places. That is amazing to me.
It is amazing. And Monterey is such a great place to Google because Charles Shorts is there. And the Peanuts Park is just across from the wharf. And Monterey is great to take children to because it's good for mommy and daddy dining out. Great food, great wine, gorgeous area, beautiful moonlight there, right? Yeah. And then you can go to the Monterey, you can go to the aquarium with the kids. It's a nice drive down that way. It's not too bad. Awesome. We won't talk about Danville and the 80, but we won't talk about that. Anyway.
Well, it's Ophelia and the Californian sea otter, right?
Yes.
And there it's on Barnes and Nobles. So we're gonna put the information and the link in the description box below so that you guys can go and check that out for yourselves. It's always good to read to your children, and then they can start to read to you. I couldn't wait to read to my grandmother and my godmother and my mom. I was like so excited when I could act out the story. Like I would read the story and then I would find things in the house that look like the story to put on and then act it out.
You're so much like my daughter. My daughter's like that too.
I was like, I was the one, okay, when it was like, I love Sonny and Cher. I'm sorry, okay, guys, I love Sonny and Cher. My favorite song, I Got You, Babe, was like the bomb. And I got crushed when I was told that I couldn't be Cher. I know. It was bad. I was told I couldn't be Cher because I wasn't the same color as Cher and my hair would never grow that long. So what I did was, I didn't care. I went and got a sheet and I went in front of everybody and I started saying, I got you, babe.
Good girl.
And they were like, you can't be Cher. I said, I am today.
I am today. That's
and
how I'm feeling.
Wonder Woman, I used to spin around and think I was going to turn into Wonder Woman in the middle of the living room. So we have to do this for our kids. And I would say, and just like Tori, don't let that you can't draw, that you can't do something stand in the way of you putting this book out that you're supposed to put out. Tori, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your time today, Yaya. And I really hope and pray that Ophelia is out there in a lot of people's hands to inspire much more inspiration and creativity. And just sitting down and having a nice moment is a good thing.
Definitely, I agree. That moment, that bonding moment, you can't take that away. No. You got to do it. It's necessary. Kids don't need money. They need you.
They need you. They need your time. They need that connection. They don't sleep unless you get those hugs and that love.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. And don't forget to go and check that out for yourself. We're going to have the information about Tori's book. And I want to make sure that I say the name, because if I don't, then we're going to forget. Ophelia. And so it's Ophelia, the Californian Sea Otter. Ophelia, the Californian Sea Otter, is on Barnes and Nobles. I'm going to go ahead and put that link in the description box below so that it'll be easy for you guys to get that. And don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys. Bye.